Okay, so what we're going to cover today is how the Read and Write software can help our students with study and research. So we won't be covering all of the functions and features on the toolbar. This is quite focused and we'll just be covering study skills and research skills. So what we're going to do here, we're going to start off with our PDF document. So PDFs, as long as they are accessible, can be read with our PDF Allowed toolbar. Click into Extended, click on the PDF Allowed toolbar, pick up, click and speak, come back to your document.
There are other reasons beyond the alpha banks to rethink their commodities business.
Point and click. So you just hover over the text, you can see the mouse changes to a hand, point where you want it to start reading and click.
This is a cyclical area, however, and is still appealing.
So this allows you to read PDF documents, and as we all know, PDF documents are everywhere, whether they are on your internal systems or whether you find them on the internet. The next thing then we're going to look at is how we can take information from this document to carry on with our research. So we highlight the phrase that we would like to look up, click on our Fact Finder icon. It opens up our web page with the search already completed. The nice thing here about this as well, in the search bar, there is no possibility for error as it lifts it from the highlighted text. So the next thing that I'm going to do now is we're just going to click into one of these web pages, and I'm going to show you how the software can read the text in this web page and allows you to access information. So I have my web page open now. To read this passage of text, simply select and play.
While these two studies of
you can adjust the speed of the voice.
Economics appear to be different.
With just a nice simple keyboard shortcut, which are your up and down arrow keys just to the bottom right of your keyboard. So this allows us to access the text in our web pages. So now if we want to gather information from this page, I'm just going to take the pause off.
Different. They are actually into
and stop. And we're going to look at the study skills features on this particular area of the toolbar. So if I want to gather this bit of information, highlight it and click one of the coloured highlighters. For high-level learners, I usually categorise these colours. So it may be historical information in yellow, supporting quotes in blue, because what this particular feature does, as well as gathering information from the page, it will also collate the information. So I've gathered information here. You can gather from multiple web pages and documents, and then I'm going to collect. Click on the Collect Highlight button. I want to order them by colour. I've got a couple of separations, collect from multiple documents, and this is one of the key areas of support for FEHE study. Include bibliography, and we have APA, MLA and Harvard. Click OK, and what this does, it pulls all of the highlights out of the web page, closes the little window, the wizard, down. You can see the highlights in Microsoft Word. This is fully editable. I can take the highlights off. You can see here I can edit. But very importantly, when we look at the bottom, we have our bibliography in Harvard format. If you click at the very end of the URL and enter a space, this then creates an active hyperlink. So if the student needs to get back to that web page, they can do that, and they have their referencing that they can add into their appendices. The study skills highlighters also work from PDF documents. So they will work from you can gather from other environments, not just internet pages, web pages, or Word documents. So the PDF, if it is accessible, you can also gather those highlights directly from the PDF. The next thing that I would like to show you is working with other inaccessible formats. So I'm just going to close this Word document down and close some of my web pages. And we're going to go back just quickly to the My Features toolbar where we started off. So I have my PDF document here, and what we have built into the software is a little feature called Screenshot Reader. Screenshot Reader is using OCR scanning. So it's an optical character recognition scanning engine, which means that it will access all inaccessible text. Now, I'm just again going to use the PDF document just as an example, but please bear in mind that other inaccessible text would be things like JPEGs, images of text. So those electronic journals that we find in libraries, for example. And this feature will also read PowerPoint slides. The good tip for Screenshot Reader, if the play button doesn't read it and the web reader doesn't read it, this will. So we go into the little drop down, and the default setting is you will just have the one capture by drawing rectangle option. Click on the main icon, come down into the text, click, hold, drag around the text that you would like read and release. The screen analyzer
There are other reasons
appears.
beyond the alpha banks to rethink their commodities business. Constraints on capital mean that it is natural for banks to re-examine their ownership of a liquid, capital-intensive.
Now, I have just highlighted there, outlined a small amount of text, just for speed for the webinar. Obviously, if you wanted the whole page, then you outline the whole page. You get a little replay button here for those students that need to read something more than once. So that's great for accessing inaccessible text, remembering the other formats that I've mentioned, so electronic journals, embedded text in web pages, alt text, that type of area. Now the next section for this particular feature is actually taking a screenshot from those locked environments. So if I select Screenshot to Microsoft Word in the little drop down, and then just repeat that exercise. I'll take a little bit more text at this point. So click, hold, drag around the text, release it, and it automatically opens up a Microsoft Word document. It has pulled the text from that locked environment, and it's actually given you an editable result. There are a number of snipping tools on the market, but generally what you find is that what they snip is actually put into Microsoft Word as an image. So therefore it is still inaccessible. So Screenshot Reader unlocks locked text. You can both read it and grab a screenshot. Now the next feature that we are going to look at is what we can then do with this text, again, to make it more accessible and to make study a little bit more portable. So we're going to look at SpeechMaker. SpeechMaker converts pages of typed text into MP3 audio files that can then be played and listened to on any device that plays an MP3. So to do that, we highlight the text. I'm just using a small amount of text for this exercise, and then click on the SpeechMaker icon. You can add notes into this wizard. So you can put notes to yourself, reminders, etc. The important thing to keep an eye on here is the character count. 712 characters in that paragraph. The maximum number that you can convert at any one time is 20,000. So quite large audios. So then we'll click Next. This is where we choose our voice in the little drop down here. There are a range of speech engines with different accents, and you can test here.
This is your new voice. Do you like it?
If you need to adjust the speed of the voice, so that it is appropriate for your auditory reading speed, then this is the slider bar and you just drag it to where you would like it to be. We then click Next. The next stage then, we need to save this. So browse folders, choose where you would like to save it, give it a name. MP3 is selected for you. They're nice and small. I would avoid the waves if you are going to make quite large files. They're much bigger, so they take up more room on your systems and your computers. So MP3 and then create. So I chose to save the MP3 audio file onto my desktop. So if I just go back to my desktop now, there you can see the audio file that I called test. This is completely portable. You don't need the read and write software to listen to this. Now, if I show you the quality of this audio by double-clicking.
There are other reasons beyond PR for banks to rethink their commodities business. Constraints on capital mean that it is natural for banks to re-examine their ownership of illiquid, capital-intensive.
Now, I'm sure we're all aware that when we talk about some of our students who are struggling, such as having dyslexia, that they are generally quite proficient at auditory learning. But I think that we need to remember that everybody is an auditory learner in the same way that we are all visual, we are all kinesthetic, to a different degree, certainly. But I would generally see this type of feature just as a supplementary study skill for any student. And it just so happens that it supports our students with dyslexia, for example, who are auditory learners. So this is our SpeechMaker feature, and it's this little icon here on the toolbar. The next feature that we're going to look at is scanning. And the way that I would describe this scanning engine is it is a conversion scanner. So if we look in the little drop down, it will convert a document that you have on file into any of these formats: Microsoft Word, HTML, an accessible, so therefore readable PDF, and EPUB, which is quite a nice tablet format. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to convert the PDF document that we were looking at previously into Microsoft Word. So scan from file to Word, then click on the scan icon. It requests you to browse for the document that you would like to convert, which is the PDF here, and open it. Now I need to give that document a name, and it's going to create a Word document, so I need to name it. Click Save, and you can see the OCR scanning engine in progress, and now it has opened up the PDF in Microsoft Word, where again it is fully editable. So what that has done, if I open the PDF document for you again, so there we can see it's Adobe, which is a locked format, and it's the micro and macro economics. Come out of there, and this is the exact same document. The nice thing about the OCR scanning engines that we use, as you can see, it very nicely keeps all of the formatting. I generally describe the scanning engine as underpinning the whole package, because what it does, it creates accessible text from inaccessible formats. So at this stage now, I can create an MP3 by selecting all of the text, clicking on the SpeechMaker icon, and running through the wizard. Okay, so that's just a very quick webinar, just to look at some of the study skills areas that we have in the software. Now, as you can see, I've only actually shown quite a small number of the features on the toolbar here to the right. We do have many literacy support features here on the left-hand side of the toolbar, and certainly if you would like any further information on the whole package, then you can contact us at info@texthelp.com, and I will just put these in here for you. And what we also have that I would like to point out is we have a new training portal. The training portal has, similar to what I have shown you today, it has a number of video tutorials, it has a number of webinars and a number of free training resources. Anyone can log into the training area here. This is staff and also students. Okay, if there are any questions, if you would like to put them into the chat area here, and we can answer any questions. Okay, well, if there are no further questions, then we will end the webinar for today. I hope that you have found that useful. What we will be doing is we will be recording this webinar, and sending out the recording to everybody who has attended today. One question that just came in is the value of our PDF Allowed icon. What this does, it just simply allows the individual to have the document read. Click into Extended, click on PDF Allowed, pick up the Click and Speak, and then click to read your document. The biggest value for the PDF Allowed that we have found is that this particular format and this feature within the Read and Write software is also the exam reader. So where exam papers are created in PDF, the Read and Write software has been agreed that it is one of the pieces of software that organisations can use to read their exam papers. Okay, we will hang on just another couple of minutes for any further questions. We do offer free exams webinars just to go into a little bit more detail about how the software can be utilised in an exam situation. If anyone is interested in receiving the exams webinar or joining the exams webinar, please let us know in the chat panel. We're still taking questions in the chat area, so any questions at all, people, just let us know. Okay, so that has been a very short webinar just to look at the study, how we can help students with study skills and research skills. We will follow up with everyone who has attended today. Thank you very much, everyone, and I will stop the webinar now. You can contact us via email, and my colleague here obviously has all of your email addresses and will follow up the webinar shortly.